5 o'clock. I'd like to call the meeting to order. Agenda review and disposition.
Madam Chair, we do need a non-public session for personnel matter coming out of program and staff.
And in negotiations, ma'am?
Yes, and collective bargaining issues.
It's all
Minutes?
approved.
Okay.
Okay,
minutes
wanted to
are-
let you
I
know.
asked the superintendent, he didn't know.
I'm sorry, they told
Story
me.
of my life.
All right, let's take that up. So
Thank
we'll
you.
go here.
All set? Okay. The minutes have been handed out or available. December 6th, both the public and the non-public. Are there any corrections or additions? So they stand approved as written. Privilege of the floor. Mr. Halloran.
Everything I have, Madam Chair, is contained within the committee reports.
All right. Read.
All right, to begin our student report, I would like to remind everyone once again that the National Technical Honor Society induction is tonight at 6 p.m. On behalf of our student body, I would like to congratulate everyone who was selected and commend them for their performance befitting the honor of being inducted into that society. Upcoming on Tuesday, December 20th, we have a winter concert. Should we not have school due to inclement weather or otherwise cancel it, it will be delayed to Wednesday, December 21st. Friday, December 23rd is the last day of school before the holiday break with a half day. And on the sports, we have hockey games on Wednesday, December 14th at Pembroke, 7:40 p.m. Saturday, December 17th versus Moultonborough at 5 p.m. Wednesday, December 21st versus Conval at 5 p.m. Wrestling will be at White Mountain Regional on Thursday, December 15th at 5 p.m. And Saturday, December 17th, they'll be at Paulette Brookline for the Nor'easter Tournament at 8:30 a.m. Thursday, December 22nd, they'll be playing versus Muskoma at 6 p.m. And Thursday, December 29th and Friday, December 30th, during the break, they'll be in the Noble Holiday Tournament, both days starting at 9:30 a.m. For basketball, on Friday, December 16th, we have a boys game versus Wyndham and a girls game at Wyndham, both at 6:30 p.m. Monday, December 19th, there will be a varsity girls game at Kearsarge at 6:30 p.m. Wednesday, December 21st, a varsity boys game at Kearsarge at 7 o'clock p.m. Thursday, December 22nd, a varsity girls game at Dow at 7 p.m. And there is a ski jumping meet Wednesday, December 21st at Proctor at 6 p.m. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Mr. Parsons.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. I have 3 overnight field trips I would like approval from the board. I did not have the opportunity last night in program and staffing. These overnights are determined by students who participate and get accepted. We've done these in the past. They're from the music department, and there are 3. The first one is a Jazz All-State Musical Festival. I have 1 student that qualified. It's at Pinkerton Academy, and it's with the proper supervision. It's an overnight going down with Mr. Gunn, and the students stay with other students from around the state that have qualified. That's on February 2nd. The next one is March 30th. And that is the All-State Musical Festival. And I've had 6 kids qualify for that. And that's at the Capitol Center for the Arts. I think they stay at the the Concord Marriott. And again, I have the proper supervision to cover for those. The final one is a little longer. The All-Eastern Music Festival this year is going to be in Atlantic City, New Jersey. I'm working out the arrangements with Mr. Gunn on the transportation. Right now, we have 2 students that qualified for that, and I will get back to you on the transportation piece, but the students qualified, and I would like to get the approval for these 3 overnight music field trips. Thank you.
Barbara?
What is the date on the Atlantic City?
April 5th. April 5th to the 8th.
If anyone has any objections, did you have any question, Peter? Oh, if anyone has any objections, I would recommend we vote on all three at once as opposed to one by one, unless objection. So would someone like to make a motion to approve the Jazz All-State Music Festival, the All-State Music Festival, and the All-Eastern Music Festival? Peter moves, seconded from, thank you. All those in favor? Opposed and abstaining. So we have 2 abstentions on that one. Janice?
Maureen.
I see you down here.
Thank you.
And Reed covered pretty much everything, other than the time of the National Technical Honor Society. It's at 6 o'clock, and there are 25 students being inducted into that
Wow.
tonight. And the guest speaker, as Reed told you, is Brian Sutherland. That's in the auditorium.
All right, thank you. Committee progress reports, facilities. Who did facilities?
Mark did it.
Oh,
I got it.
oh, Ross.
Minutes of November 14th were approved as written. CTE project. Mr. Hallam reported the project will be on a warrant article at the January 3rd budget hearing. There will be a cost marketing plan bond hearing on January 17th at 6:30. The tanks, the old oil tanks were removed and they were not showing any leaks or any problems with the ground. So that was filled in and sealed, and we're done with that. Mr. McCormick inquired if the first CTE Marketing Committee meeting had been scheduled yet. Mr. Hallam indicated not yet. He's hoping to recruit a couple more board members for the committee as well. Future meeting February 20th, 2017 at 5 p.m. Meeting adjourned at 6:16. Respectfully submitted.
Any questions? Policy and budget.
We met at 6 p.m. We approved the minutes of November 14th. We had a preliminary request from Bob Price with respect to some, I won't call them small, but smaller scholarships which are not producing enough revenue each year to fund a scholarship, mainly because the money is put into CDs, and if you know the rate of return on CDs these days, you can imagine it's going to take a long time for some of these $5,000 and $8,000 and $10,000 scholarship funds to ever get enough money to award a scholarship. He's talking about going before the appropriate court to get a cypre doctrine, that is to say that the money would be turned over to the school in all likelihood, as opposed to being held by a trustee of the trust funds. And they would come up with a plan to use the principal over a period of time until it is exhausted. But we're going to be taking that up at a future meeting because we had other more pressing matters at this meeting. We took a look at the financial aspects of a matter which had been taken up, frankly, at the policy and program and staffing. Sorry, thank you. With respect to hockey, Mr. Stewart represented the hockey group, and they have a proposal to us that we pay the operating costs of the hockey program, whether it be a joint program with Kearsarge or a singular program for Plymouth Regional High School. He's estimating those costs at $17,000. There's further costs associated with it, which is ice rental costs, the boosters, if you will, friends of, whatever the appropriate name is, would pay that cost, and the fundraising costs for a total of $11,500, for a total cost of $28,500, $17,000, which would be ours. We limited our discussion to the financial issues. The other committee dealt with the other issues, how many kids, we're going to have JVs, all of those kinds of things. our recommendation, who divided, is that we put the $17,000 in the budget. It's time for you to, that's the last thing on my agenda. Let's see, I have a budget hearing on the 3rd, bond hearing on the 17th, no other business, motion made to adjourn. And we did.
Questions for Ross?
So it didn't come from committee, your committee?
Yes, it came to the last committee to expend the funds subject to the approval of the program committee.
You want me to go through a little bit of what we talked about in program and staffing and go back to the budget issue? Sure. Okay. We met last night as well. When Jonathan Stewart presented the information to our committee, the budget proposal of $17,000 for a PRHS hockey team, minus the ice time, which Ross alluded to. The proposed budget would cover coaches, officials' fees, uniforms, transportation, etc., the same as other PRHS sports. Mr. Stewart explained that hockey schedules are done on a bi-yearly basis and was asking the committee for approval to fund the team in the 2017-18 budget. The team could either continue to be a cooperative team with Kearsarge or be just a PRHS team. Mr. Halloran explained that it could either go to the taxpayers to vote on as a warrant article or be added as a line in the budget. Mr. Jeff Varian reported that the numbers for hockey have been growing yearly. After much discussion, a motion was made by Mrs. Noyes, seconded by Mrs. Sullivan, to recommend the addition of $17,000 for a PRHS hockey team, not to include any ice fees, as a line item to the 2017-18 proposed budget. The vote was 3 in favor and 1 opposed on the committee. The motion carried and was sent for recommendation to policy and budget to follow, and then on to the full board for tonight. And then everything else I have is for non-public.
The budget committee voted 3-2 to recommend that the $17,000 be put in the budget as an additional line item. So whatever budget we're going to approve tonight would be increased by $17,000 if you approve it. Just been given, and you have too, some additional notes on the hockey issue. Should be noted that if our budget that we present fails and the default budget is accepted, there would be no money for hockey. We have never had that happen, but just, you should know it. It increases the appropriation line, the assessment line by $17,000. It has a minimal impact on any homeowner in any of our sending districts. You can see at the bottom that a person owning a home of between $200,000 and $350,000 would pay those respective amounts, most of which would be $3.19 from Plymouth, down to $1.35 from Holderness. That's not $1.35 per thousand, that's $1.35.
Yes.
So you can just hand it to the tax collector on the way through.
You should tip.
So, that's the recommendations of the two committees on this issue.
I was against doing it as a line item last night, and I'd still like to do it as a warrant article. I don't think we need to surreptitiously slipping it in among 900 lines, ice hockey. I'm gonna vote for the warrant article if it becomes warrant article, because I'm in favor of hockey, but we did it originally with no money as a warrant article. And I think we ought to be consistent and put it as a warrant article again. I think, hopefully it'll pass. I'll vote for it, but I don't think we should just slide it in there.
Tim?
Mark, if we put that in the budget,
Yeah.
there'll be a separate line item that'll be distinguished for hockey team, $17,000.
No, we have to follow the budget format, so it would be a line item. It would be a line item in athletics, so there would be supplies, there would be new equipment, replacement of equipment. Hockey would be treated just like any other sport.
So the $17,000 will not be identified.
So it'll be just lumped
It'd
in.
be, it wouldn't be 17, it would be broken up based on
Right,
those
whatever
categories.
the
Yeah,
the items
yeah.
are we need to
Exactly.
fund.
What do you mean it wouldn't be 17?
It would
It would
total
have
17.
$3,000 for supplies. I
Okay,
mean,
in
yeah.
total 17.
Yes, but you wouldn't see 17 in the
That's right.
lineup.
Phil?
I also spoke in opposition, not to the concept of having a hockey team. I support Plymouth hockey team. However, I do not support putting money in the budget that would be spent or directed towards a cooperative team. I stated that I don't feel it appropriate for the other things we're asking for, to raise money for something that involves a program that requires kids to travel up to 38 miles to practice. It's not just Plymouth kids. So I would be in opposition if it is a cooperative team, and I realize that that decision could be made at a later time, but if the money is in the budget, then whatever's decided is decided. I would vote in opposition to it.
Any other questions or concerns?
How many kids are on the team today, do we know?
There was a handout to Jonathan. 16 Plymouth kids, Tim, and then the rest were Kearsarge kids.
And being kind of ignorant on hockey, how big is a hockey team?
Generally, you can have a roster of, I think, 20 for the playoffs, and
Maximum.
generally you carry about 24 kids.
So there'll be no JV team?
I thought they said 20 max.
20 max, yeah, on a roster for playoffs, but you can, in regular season, you can carry more kids than that. But you just can't go to the playoffs with a roster bigger than 20, is my understanding.
Sam?
Just to be clear, this vote is just on to whether to put the money in the budget as an item, the 17,000. It's not on whether it's going to be solely a Plymouth team or a cooperative team. That's a decision to be made presumably every 2 years based on
Really the numbers that both schools think that they have.
and that's an administrative decision that will come back as a recommendation.
Yes. Yeah.
If it were ever to change.
Yeah. In all honesty, right now, I believe it'll be a co-op team. I just don't see the depth in the program right now to have both teams go out on their own. I just don't see it. Others may disagree with me, but in the reality of it, the conversation last night was, what's a hockey program look like? Well, a good hockey program has a varsity and a junior varsity.
Right.
And that may be for future boards and principals and superintendents. But I don't see us in that position right now based on the number of kids at the high school level that we have. Now, Jeff spoke passionately last night about the number of kids in the youth leagues, but that's a ways away. We have to do the 2-year scheduling next summer or fall. So, and right now, I just don't see those kind of numbers. So if you're thinking about whether it's ours or co-op, right now, my gut would tell me it'd be a co-op.
And there's no hockey rink here.
We use Plymouth State.
We
Did hold it as
Yeah,
prep.
yeah, and Holden is prep.
But the Hockey Booster Club is responsible for
Right, and then,
supplying the ice.
then the Kearsarge kids have Proctor Academy. And then they, go ahead.
Correct. So right now, we have about 37 students on both, players on both, and we do host a JV team. So we have that feeder program within the co-op right now. As Mark said, down the road, again, we don't know what those, right now, those numbers are sustainable for both Plymouth and Kearsarge. And it's like, we were told last night too, Kearsarge funds their portion through their budget on their piece.
Barbara, you had a question?
Yeah, just for further clarification, please correct me if I'm wrong, but the funds that we're looking for are based on the cost for our students to participate. Even if it's a co-op program, the additional cost for Kearsarge will
Correct.
be borne by them.
Correct.
You're
So
right.
this is
Correct.
only for us.
Yep,
Yes,
correct. Correct.
So it's $1,000 a student.
Well, just about.
Yep.
Sam?
And also, too, I wanted to make sure it's my assumption that the administration is in support of this proposal. That's
Yes.
come to the board.
Both of us.
Okay, thank you.
Well, there being no further discussion, I'm assuming everyone is ready to vote on the recommendation coming from the Policy and Budget Committee to approve a total of $17,000 into the budget we'll be voting on. for ice hockey, to fund the ice hockey team. All those in favor?
Aye.
And opposed? So it looks like the ayes have it.
That ends my report.
All right. SCC?
They don't meet till we come back from in January, Madam Chair, and they'll be working out their final arrangements on the recommendation dealing with phys ed, and then moving on to the study of the senior seminar piece.
No discussion items?
Madam Chair, after that vote, the appropriations would move to $13,820,888, and the assessment would be $9,707,362. So when the board is ready, we need to move a budget on to a budget hearing. You vote on the budget when you're done taking input from the public. But this vote would be moving the budget on to the budget hearing, along with the warrant articles that you saw last night.
Mark, where's the 9 million one show up here?
It's on the sheet I just handed out to you, Ross.
Yeah, but where is it on the budget that you,
On the revenue page, if you look at the assessment down below. So you take the 9,690,362
Yeah.
and add 17,000 to that.
yeah, gotcha. 9,
The after adequacy figure.
Pardon?
After adequacy is factored in too, it's the final figure.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Thank you.
So does that make us still in the 1.2, 1.1 range?
Yeah, it
In
would-
effect, that much, did it?
With your assessment with hockey, it's 1.16.
Thank you.
Welcome.
So this budget needs to be voted on then
Just to move on to the budget hearing.
can I have that amount again, please?
The appropriation, including hockey, would be $13,820,888. The assessment with hockey would be $9,707,362.
And did the committee vote on this last night, or is this need to come
No,
from the board?
we got to the issue of hockey, and then we stopped and said, see you tomorrow.
The question came up whether or not we had received enough input from the administration and from the school board. We went through it basically line by line, all of those lines that anyone had any questions about. I think we satisfied ourselves, and whatever else was raised any issues. So as far as I know, we're ready to move this to full hearing, and then we can vote to, or not, accept it afterwards. We can't
Okay.
increase it, but we can decrease it, right, Mark?
Yes, yes.
All right, so do I hear a motion to move those two
I make that
figures
motion
on
for that.
Second.
hearing? Second, okay. All those in favor? Opposed? And abstaining? All right, so that budget will be moved on to the January 3rd hearing.
I think just as a note of historical reference, that's the first time we've ever moved your budget from proposal to recommended without some change.
It's true.
And it wasn't always an increase.
That's true. That's true.
I've never known it to be an increase.
You did a great job.
Thank you.
Yeah. I just have one item under other business, and that is that Ross had offered to be the delegate from our board to the New Hampshire School Boards Association meeting. No one else expressed any interest, so if someone would like to nominate Ross, Sam, and do I hear a second to that? Melissa? Melinda? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed and abstaining. Thank you, Ross. Other board member concerns?
Madam Chair, I had one point I forgot to announce, but we had a young man from the high school, from the football player, that was selected as the Gatorade Player of the Year from the state of New Hampshire, Garrett Maycomber. It's quite an honor. I think the last one we had
Michael
was
Boyle.
Michael Boyle, when you could do the numbers on that. So that's quite an honor for this high school and that young man.
And Michael got it as a senior, I think.
Yes.
Yeah,
Garrett was getting it as a junior.
this young man's a junior.
Wow, well, congratulations to him. That's great. There being no other business, do I hear a motion to go into non-public session for personnel and collective bargaining? Barbara, seconded by Linda?